Goldman Sachs versus XRP, folks. In this episode, we are going to compare the two opportunities that you have to potentially invest in a Goldman Sachs tokenized fund that's going to be launching by the end of this year. And they're not just planning one, they're going to start with three. So we're going to get into that, but then we're going to compare that with the XRP ledger and the opportunity to get access to tokenized funds over there in what may be more of a decentralized way. Of course, it is important to recognize that there's going to be many competitors in this space. You got Goldman Sachs with good guy Gary Gensler in their pocket, and that always helps. We're going to get right on into this episode. We got CPI Lie coming out here shortly. I'm going to be dropping this video right before the CPI data releases. Once again, the expectation is 3.1%. This would be down from 3.3 in the previous month. So once again, expectations 3.1, last month was 3.3, and the target is 2%. And as Jerome Powell admitted at Capitol Hill here yesterday with his testimony to the Senate and then the House, they are not going to wait for the inflation to get down to 2% before they cut rates. That never was the plan. And this really allows them to say, yeah, we were going to achieve 2% inflation, but we started to cut rates early before we got there because we were headed in that direction. And it's all just one big lie, right? They never were at the 2% target. It never was going to be transitory as far as inflation. And of course, they were, just decided to rug pull Main Street America and our economy by raising rates at the fastest pace in history. Now, I'm wondering if this gets calculated anywhere in the CPI Lie, and that is going to be an increase to your Costco membership. Let's take a look at it. This is from Bloomberg. Costco hikes annual membership fee for the first time since 2017. Now, I was actually surprised by how cheap this was, from $60 up to $65, and for the premium membership from $120 up to $130. But the value's there. I mean, I was just thinking about this. You can get that value just in the, what are they, $1.50 hot dogs? And now they've bumped the price on that. I think that used to be cheaper too, maybe. They've held out on the $150 hot dogs, but nonetheless, everything else at Costco, the price has gone up. They are long overdue for this hike of the membership. Was an 8% hike. From 60 to 65, it doesn't sound like much, right? It's actually an 8% increase. Something similar, the 120 to 130 for the premium. And the point being, does this wind up anywhere in the CPI Lie? Does that maybe offend someone? So we strip that one out as well. Remember, there's so many data points that just don't go our way. So we just strip them out of the CPI, which is why we call it the CPI Lie. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about that. In the meantime, talking about prices going up, well, here's your stock market. CNBC. S&P 500 closes above 5,600 for the first time, lifted by gains in big tech. We will see if this rally continues after the inflation comes in. If the inflation still comes in hot or above expectations, we might see the market start to cool off as it recognizes that Powell will not be coming to save the day, and maybe that September rate cut isn't a guarantee. Remember, that's what the CNBC talking head pundits and the markets are pricing in, a rate cut in September. Same market that priced in 6 rate cuts this year, 7 rate cuts last year. How's that program worked out? Well, it's worked out pretty dang good for the stock market, right? But once again, this is how cycles end. So we got to prepare ourselves for that. We are also watching, right? Everything's going good here in America, right? Stock market's up. Well, we know that it's a different story on Main Street. It's also a different story in the countries around the world that are already going through and further along in their debt, currency, and liquidity crisis. Let's take a look here at China, suspending its largest facilitator of short selling in order to preserve market stability. And you guys know what happens when they ban the short selling. It makes the market fall off a cliff because everybody wants to get out. They can no longer hedge. Even if you're long a position, it's actually responsible to sometimes have a short position on that same asset as a hedge, right? Now you don't even have the ability to hedge, and so it forces folks to just sell. And we've seen this time and time again. You get cascading liquidations. Nobody can go short. Nobody can hedge. Market sells off. And we also witnessed a bank shutting down, going bankrupt. We're still waiting for more information. It's tough to get it out of this country. But nonetheless, we're going to keep you guys updated. Debt, currency, liquidity crisis. Other countries are much, much further along than us here in the United States of America. We're still acting like everything's A-OK while we're enjoying our barbecue season this this summer, and myself included in that, but also recognizing just how real this situation is. Just because we're going to be the last one to fall doesn't mean it's not coming our way. Prepare yourselves accordingly. And Wall Street is trying to prepare themselves accordingly by getting their ducks in a row. Goldman Sachs coming out here today, $1.64 trillion asset manager Goldman Sachs to launch 3 tokenization projects this year. Now, of course, I'm already seeing the rumors circulating. The ETH bros are already saying that these are going to be launched on Ethereum. We will see. We will see where these funds will be launched. But I wanted to highlight something here. I got this shared by Ido Farina. Huge shout out to Ido. He found this Goldman Sachs paper, The Opportunity in Payments, which actually praises Ripple technology. Now, being, having the responsibility that I do have, I said, okay, we better go verify this, because you never know these days. People be making fake stuff up, trying to get some clickbait, trying to do something crazy. Ido, I actually like some of the stuff that he shares. I thought that, he does a pretty good job of vetting out his sources for the most part. And so I went and verified myself. This is a real document. This is directly from Goldman Sachs, their investment banking division. The Opportunity in Payments. This is real. Here I am, page 37. And I'll link up the PDF in the description down below so you guys can do your own research as well. And this isn't the only time that it gets mentioned. Where was the other one? Right here. Page 23. Financial infrastructure. Distributed ledger technology projects by use case. When you go to payments, you see Ripple. Now, what's interesting is Ripple actually should be included in custody. They also should be included in, infrastructure. They also should be included in DeFi. I don't know when the date of this document actually was. Let me scroll up to the top and see if I can get a date. November 2021. Overview of digital assets and blockchain. So this is from November 2021. But in this document, they're actually praising and giving credit to Ripple for what they've got going. Right? When I go back down here to page 37, which is where this is shared at, we can see it shares the advantage here of joining RippleNet. Banks join RippleNet to process cross-border payments in real time with end-to-end tracking and certainty, available in 55 plus countries across 6 continents. We know that that has now grown substantially, right? That's going to be over, where are they at? 70 countries now? RippleNet makes it easy to connect and transact, network of financial institutions. Yep. So, we already know about this stuff. But the big one here, too, is they acknowledge that you get to remove the need to pre-fund. And that's a big deal. Fewer liquidity requirements. That's important. Now, what gets interesting here, and the comparison, as I titled this episode, Goldman Sachs versus XRP, the reason why I titled it that is I want to get into this comparison here. You have tokenized funds from issuers like Goldman Sachs, which are going to be available, without a doubt. They're going to be rolling out multiple funds, multiple ETFs. It is a battle for assets under management. $1.6 trillion is what Goldman Sachs touts right now. The only way to stay around and to compete with the rollout of digital assets is to provide that service, the level of trust we could say that they've built up over time, Goldman Sachs. If you got to give them credit for still being around. And when like I said, when you have the pockets and you have the coattail of good guy Gary Gensler and the other regulators, right? It really does help to be a systemically important financial institutions, and you can take plenty of risk and know that ultimately you have a full backstop, full faith and credit of Janet, No-Tail, and Yellen behind you. That's nice. That's a competitive advantage. Here's where it doesn't compete, though, and where it never will, is the open source permissionless technology that is the XRP ledger, and you'll have the same functionality. It's just a matter of finding an issuer that you trust, that you believe will give you the returns that you seek, versus a Goldman Sachs. So you're going to have your pick of hundreds, thousands of different funds, ETFs, and tokenized products on the XRP ledger, and even other ledgers for that matter. I just like talking about XRP, and in this document, they praise Ripple. So, there's other ledgers that are going to get some of this action, of course. The point being, you get the decentralization, you get the permissionless control of your own assets. Instead of having, here's the thing, you can have 2 identical funds that, let's just say they own T-bills, 10-year treasuries paying you 4.3% right now. Let's just say that that's what the fund is. Okay, well, you're going to get your 4.3% here without having to give a fee to your bank, your investment manager, right? Your financial advisor, right? You're going to be able to just go get direct access from the XRP ledger to this product and make your investments, collect your yield without any middleman. And this is what they fear the most. And this is what we're going to have to watch closely with the crypto regulations that are coming in. They want to ban self-custody, right? Elizabeth Warren and the gang, if they got their way, they would ban self-custody. They would ban all DeFi platforms. They would ban most cryptos just outright, right? They would ban mining. We don't have to worry about the mining. We don't have to worry about the centralization. All of the protocols are being, the utilities are being added at the protocol level on the XRP ledger, which makes the capabilities and functions available for everyone, completely decentralized. There's no choke point for the SEC to sue like a Uniswap with Ethereum's AMM, right? Uniswap, the biggest AMM on Ethereum, and they're basically have already been served by the SEC a Wells notice and potentially going to be sued. That's a choke point. And that's not a layer 1 AMM like we have on the XRP ledger, along with the other utilities that were getting added at the layer 1 level. On Ethereum, it's all these layer 2s. That's a choke point. You potentially have an investment contract. And you have counterparty risk, which is the big issue. Speaking of counterparty risk, we have enabled clawbacks now are available on issued assets on the XRP ledger. This is important for, regulated entities that need to have clawbacks available. Here's the kicker where this gets interesting. Vet shared this today. Currently, tokens with clawback can't be used to create XRP ledger automated market maker pairs, right? So you can't have a clawback for a token and put it into an AMM, right? Seems like a new feature is coming to allow this. This is a proposal coming forward. Allow AMM create if issuer has clawback enabled when feature AMM clawback. And so this is a proposal coming forward now to allow you to put an asset with clawback enabled into an AMM. Why is this important? This is just some silly little deal, right? Wrong. This would enable Ripple's stablecoin, which I suspect will have clawbacks enabled, regulated entity. We're dealing with the stablecoin. They have to have that sort of control. And so I suspect that Ripple's trying to get in front of this. They want to be able to add Ripple's stablecoin to the AMM. This is a conversation that we were having when Ripple first announced the stablecoin. We said, well, what are they going to do here? Unless they add clawback, they're not going to be able to add it to the AMM. Well, enter this proposal, and now you're going to be able to add assets with clawback to the AMM. Ripple stablecoin about to build out some of the best liquidity in the world, straight to the XRP ledger. And yes, you need XRP for the Ripple stablecoin. Every single transaction that the Ripple stablecoin is doing on the XRP ledger will be burning XRP. So it doesn't remove the need for XRP. And so this is what we're watching. Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, you name it. They're showing up and they want your assets under their management. They know folks want access to this technology, to these opportunities, and to the DeFi. So they're going to try to control the DeFi, spin it up as if it's still, you're in control. And they'll try to make it as sexy as possible, when at the end of the day, if you just took a little bit of time to learn how to use these ledgers, the XRP ledger is very simple. You got toolkits, you got wallets like the Zaman wallet. They make it super easy to get access to these platforms. All the AMM platforms that we have right now, very solid, completely decentralized in a way that allows you to be the custodian, allows you to collect all the fees, all the yield without having any counterparty risk. This is the advantage that XRP and the XRP ledger has over any platform that Goldman Sachs is going to create, because they're saying that they want to create a marketplace for tokenized funds. Well, that's great, right? The problem is that you have it in a decentralized way over here in cryptocurrencies, XRP ledger just being one of many. If you guys appreciate this update, please make sure that you like this video. I'm going to link up the PDF down below if you want to look into that Goldman Sachs document a little bit further for yourself. Everything else is at my website, zachrector.com, and I will be updating you guys with another video later today. So make sure you guys have subscribed, hit that notification bell, and zachrector.com has all of my community resources. God bless you all. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.